Hello class 10th. Let's discuss another topic, plasmolysis and flaccidity. Plasmolysis is the withdrawal of water from a plant cell by osmosis if placed in a strong hypertonic solution, resulting in contraction of cytoplasm away from cell walls. When a living plant cell is placed in a hypertonic solution, it loses water through which process? Through osmosis process. Then there is a shrinkage or contraction of the contents of the cell. Means the cytoplasm will shrink and the plasma membrane will withdraw from the cell wall. This shrinkage from the cell wall is called plasmolysis, and the cells in this state are said to be flaccid. The condition is called flaccidity. When we place a living cell of a leaf of an aquatic plant in fresh water, then it remains in a fully stressed conditions. Clear class? You can see in this figure that its plasma membrane, this one, remains in close contact with the cell wall. You can see two lines here. Here you can see two lines that cell membrane remains in close contact with the cell wall. Both lines you can see. You can see in this figure also, when cell is in fresh water, then plasma membrane and cell wall both are closely in contact with each other. So in this form, cell will be in turgid condition. But when we keep this cell in hypertonic solution, previously we kept in fresh water, that time cell was in turgid state, but now we will keep in hypertonic solution. Then what will happen? It will lose its stressed appearance. Clear class? The protoplasm will shrink. You can see in this figure, this is protoplasm and you can see that this is cell wall. So protoplasm will shrink. You can see this, how it is shrinking. Okay, so the protoplasm will shrink and plasma membrane will withdraw from the cell wall. You can see here also. And why it happens? Because outside of the cell hypertonic solution is there. So water from the vacuole, this is vacuole, so water from the vacuole will move outside. Is it clear? Due to which there will be contraction. You can see contraction in this figure of cytoplasm from the cell wall. Clear? This is cell wall, this is cytoplasm. So there will be contraction of cytoplasm from the cell wall, and that is only plasmolysis. And the cell in this state are said to be flaccid. The condition is called flaccidity. Flaccidity is the reverse of turgidity. Clear class? If we will keep this plasmolysed cell or flaccid cell in again in water before it is dead, then what will happen? Its protoplasm again swell up. Okay? Why? Because water will come inside of the cell. Because we are keeping this cell in water. So outside water molecules are more. So water will move from outside to inside of the cell and the cell will become tight against the cell wall. Okay? And this one will be recovery or the reversal of plasmolysis and is called deplasmolysis. So deplasmolysis is the reversal of plasmolysis when a plasmolysed cell is placed in water before the cell is dead. If we keep flaccid cell in water, then again water will come inside the cell and the cell will become tight. So that is only deplasmolysis. So plasmolysis is the result of outflow of water from the cell and deplasmolysis is the result of its re-entry. Salting of meat or addition of salt to pickles is a method of killing bacteria by plasmolysis. Water is drawn out of the bacterial cells. Pickles mixed with salt creates a hypertonic medium, so microbes entering it lose water by exosmosis and becomes plasmolysed and hence dies. So by this way pickle can be preserved for longer time. In similar way, weeds can be killed in a playground by sprinkling excessive salts around their base, and excessive application of fertilizers in the agricultural fields may similarly damage the roots and diminish the yield. Uses of turgidity to plants. The uses of turgidity to plants are as follows. First one, turgidity provides rigidity to soft tissues such as the leaves. Second, turgor pressure helps to push through the hard ground. Next, turgor in root cells builds up root pressure. Fourth, turgor in the opening and closing of stomata. And the fifth one, turgor movement. Now we will discuss one by one. Let's take first point. Turgidity provides rigidity to soft tissues such as the leaves. When there is not enough water in a leaf, you can see in this image, it wilts, that is its petiole and lamina become loose and the leaf droops down. Leaves that wilt during the daytime becomes erect once again during the evening time. Why it happens? During the daytime, when light intensity is maximum, then the transpiration rate is much higher than the absorption rate, so the cells become flaccid, they lose water, so they become limp. Now during the evening time, with respect to the absorption rate, the transpiration rate decreases, so the cells gain back the turgidity and become erect once again. Now next, turgor pressure helps to push through the hard ground, as in mushrooms and in a seedling. Sometimes the roots of certain trees have been seen to crack the walls or a concrete floor of an adjoining building. This again is due to turgor pressure. Why it happens? Because turgor pressure makes cells rigid, providing support in the form of a hydrostatic skeleton. Turgor pressure makes root cells strong enough to force their way through hard surfaces such as concrete. Now the third one, turgor in root cells builds up root pressure. Before explanation of this experiment, first I want to tell you what is root pressure. You know that roots absorb water from the soil continuously. So root pressure is the pressure developed in the roots due to continued inward movement of water through cell to cell osmosis, which helps in the ascent of cell sap, means upward flow of water or cell sap through the stem. In this experiment, you can see there is a well-watered pot plant. In this, what we do, we cut a stem few centimeters above the soil and then immediately we fix a glass tube. You can see this glass tube structure. So we fix this glass tube structure by means of a rubber connection to a plant. Means with the help of this rubber connection, we fix this glass tube with this stem. After that, what we see, that water will start coming out of the cut end of the stem and rise up in the glass tube. Okay, this is manometer. So when water comes out from this stem, this is a stem. So what you know that roots of this stem will absorb water from the soil. So water will come outside from this stem, and it will exert pressure on this mercury. Clear? So mercury which is filled in this tube will raise. Clear? It will raise, and this upward flow of water is due to a heavy pressure from the roots, which is called root pressure. Initially the mercury was up to this level, but when water comes outside from the stem, it exerts pressure on this mercury, and then mercury level raise. You can see now the level of mercury. So this upward flow of water is due to a heavy pressure from the roots, which is called root pressure. Due to root pressure, water or cell sap can rise in the tube up to a certain height only. Clear? And loss of water or cell sap through a cut stem is called bleeding. So when there is a cut on a stem due to which water comes out from that stem, that is known as bleeding. Now next, use turgor in the opening and closing of stomata. Students, you have already studied about stomata in previous classes. Before explanation, let's try to understand the structure of stomata. In this structure, first you see this bean-like structure. This is known as guard cells. Each guard cell has thick wall. Inside it has thick wall, and outside it has thin wall. Clear, class? Inside it has thick wall, and outside it has thin wall. Inside guard cell, chloroplast is present. You can see chloroplast is there. Nucleus is also present inside the guard cell. Okay, their opening and closing depend on the turgidity of guard cells. Clear, class? Stomata will remain open or closed. It depends on turgidity of guard cell. You all know that during photosynthesis process, glucose is formed and some other chemical changes also take place. So due to which inside the guard cells, osmotic pressure increases. Then what will happen? These guard cells will absorb more water from the neighboring cells. Now guard cells will be full of water and they become turgid and bulge outwards due to their thin outer wall, and the aperture between these two will be widened and stomata will open. Now what will happen at night? At night, or when there is shortage of water in the leaf, the water is drawn out of the guard cells due to exosmosis and making them flaccid. Then what will be result? Their inner thick walls straighten to close the stomata. So if there will be turgor pressure inside the stomata, then stomata will open, and if there will be no turgor pressure, then stomata will be closed. And the fifth one is turgor movement. To understand turgor movement, we will take an example of a sensitive plant, Mimosa pudica. This plant is only Mimosa pudica. In Hindi we say chui mui. When we touch the leaves of Mimosa pudica, then the sensitive leaves react to stimulus. When we touch, that is a stimulus. So this the leaves of this plant react to this stimulus, as there is a higher pressure at that point, and the water in the vacuoles of the cells of the leaves lose water to the neighboring cells or adjacent cells. All the water escapes the leaves, which then become flaccid. You can see the leaves are in flaccid form. This causes the leaves to close. If the leaves are left undisturbed for a few seconds, they slowly recover and again stand erect or regain turgidity. In this plant, the stimulus of touch leads to loss of turgor at the base of the leaflets and at the base of the petioles. Same turgor movement we can see in the insectivorous plants. When any living prey come with contact with this plant, then at once the lid of this close to trap the living prey.